Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Here at Mad About Skin, we're passionate about helping you to get the most out of your skincare. So if you haven't already, now's a fantastic time to click that button below and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss out on any of our future notifications. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a full review of the Inkey List. So, what's the Inkey List? Well, the Inkey List is a skincare company that came out a couple of years ago, very much in the same vein as The Ordinary, so focusing on low price points, high quality ingredients, easy to understand and easy to explain, single ingredient driven products, so allowing you to create your own skincare routine piece by piece. Very similar, like I say, to The Ordinary, which is a brand that I absolutely adore and think is fantastic. So the Inkey List came out very much in that vein, but created by industry insiders. With their unique selling point is they say it makes it really, really easy to understand the product and to create your own skincare routine using their products in a way that I think some people say The Ordinary isn't always that clear, and you have to have a basic understanding and knowledge to be able to create your own routine, which is, I guess, where this channel helps. But the Inkey List say that they give you the information you need to be able to create it yourself. So I thought we'd do a video. I've bought loads of their products. I've spent my own money, so I'm not going to be sponsored, and we've certainly not received anything in PR. This is all my own money that I've spent to try them out. Now, I've tried them all out for 2 weeks now, which normally I would like to do a little bit longer of a try, but I think I've formed my opinions at this point on whether I like the product or don't like the product, and so I can give you a really good idea. I'm going to be giving you their 4 best products and their 4 worst products. Like I say, skincare is very unique, and it's individual. So some of the products that I like, you might not like. I'd love to know your experiences with the brand. So if you've ever used it, leave me a comment below. Let me know which products you like, which products worked well for you. I think I've given it a very fair test. There are some products that I actually really like and will recommend, so wait for the end of those. There's some that I just think aren't worth the money, and we'll go through that. We'll get into the nitty gritty. So first of all, what I guess is their brand ethos. So their brand ethos is very much around single ingredient formulations, so breaking each product down to one key ingredient, focusing on demand. So most of the ingredients are based on what their consumers have asked for or want, which I quite like. You know, I think we are in a very consumer driven age, so I think that's fantastic. They tend to, well, none of their products are unnecessarily fragrant. So where the ingredient has a very unpleasant odor, they do add fragrance to mask that. That's the same with The Ordinary. It's the same with most cosmetic companies, but they don't add unnecessary fragrance, and the same with colorant. So I do appreciate that, and they've got a really, really strong view on high quality, low price points. So let's break it down and see. Let's just start straight away, otherwise I'll keep rambling on for ages and ages. And what are their star products? Well, the first product, which I would absolutely fully recommend, I think is fantastic, is their hyaluronic acid. So their hyaluronic acid, let me just get that out for you. It's that one, yeah. Their hyaluronic acid comes in these, a lot of their products come in these little containers here. It's $4.99 here in the UK. That's a fantastic price point. You don't get a lot. So what's actually in here? 30 millilitres, 1 fluid ounce. So you don't get a huge amount of product, but you don't need a lot of hyaluronic acid. You use a small amount. The reason I recommend this is I don't use The Ordinary hyaluronic acid because I find it doesn't layer. What you end up getting is pilling. It doesn't sit well on the skin. I don't find it ever sinks in, and it doesn't really merge with the rest of your skincare, and I find it really difficult to find hyaluronic acid that does. This one is fantastic. So it mixes into your skin, give it 30 seconds, it'll be fully absorbed, and you can put your other moisturisers on top. It's a very basic hyaluronic acid. It does what it says. It'll help hydrate the skin, help lock in that moisture and attract that moisture to the skin. So it's fantastic. But it does work, and I much prefer the texture to this, so I will be rebuying this, and I'm going to keep using this because I think the slightly more watery texture helps it sink in better and is just a really nice product. Second one, and actually, I haven't got it here because I've lent it to a friend. Actually, I should have known if I'm doing this video, but it's their vitamin C. So their vitamin C is $8.99 here in the UK, and is about the size. You get 60 mil in that, so it's not a bad size vitamin C. It's 30%, so it's very strong as a vitamin C, but I love it. It's not gritty at all. It's a smooth texture. It's the strength that I like to use. I like to use the 30% if I'm going to be using a pre-mixed vitamin C. There's no odor to it. It just tingles a little bit, but vitamin C does. That's not the product's fault. That's just the nature of the ingredient. I love the fact that it's not gritty. The higher the concentration with vitamin C, the more gritty the texture tends to be, and this one had none of that. It was really, really nice. So fully recommend that. The third one that I'm going to recommend is, so again, it comes in this sort of thing, is the coenzyme Q10. Now, if you've seen the antioxidant video I did, I mentioned coenzyme Q10 as a really good antioxidant. But it's quite hard to find in a product, so it's often in moisturising creams, but the problem if it's in a moisturising cream is what happens if you don't like the moisturising base. So the Olay one, for example, Olay do a fantastic coenzyme Q10 moisturising cream, but it's just too rich for my skin and it breaks me out. It's also quite heavily perfumed, which I don't like, so it's really nice to find a coenzyme Q10 in a very basic product where you can add the ingredient into your skincare routine without adding all the other elements and having it within a product. So I think this is really, and this is quite unique. I've not seen this done by any other brand. I'm not saying it's not out there, but I've not seen it done by any other brand. This is about £10 here in the UK and is fantastic. I've been wanting to add a coenzyme Q10 into my routine. I've been using this for 2 weeks. I love the consistency. I love how it works. It is a fantastic product. It's too early to say if I've noticed the results because I don't think 2 weeks is enough to give it a fair trial, but I like the fact it's unique. I like the fact that it sinks in really well, and I really like the fact that it is a price point which I don't think is too inaccessible. I mean, £10, $15, I don't think that's too bad a price point. So that one I really would recommend. And then finally, we've got their retinol. So they do a retinol, which is a mix of a 1% retinol and a gram-active retinol as well. So it's formulated to, and this is what I think makes it a really good product, it's formulated to give maximum potency with minimum irritation. You can never eliminate irritation with retinol. If you do, you're not using a strong enough one. So there's always going to be an element of irritation, but this is really designed to minimize that, and I really, really appreciate that in the product. It is in a cream consistency, and I've spoken on this channel before, I really don't like the ordinary retinols because I find that they have they're too oil based, so they never sink into the skin. You're always left with that oily consistency on the skin. They stain your pillow. They're not for me. I don't like the ordinary retinol range. I really like a cream retinol. Well, this is a really inexpensive cream retinol. So here in the UK it's £10. So again, you're looking at about $15 in the US. It's strong. It's the equivalent of about a 1% standard 1% retinol. So similar to the Drunk Elephant one that I've been using. So I have used it for 2 weeks. I'm going to finish off my Drunk Elephant one. I'd say they're similar in terms of the strength. It's hard because they're not exactly the same retinol product, so it's hard to compare strength like for like, but I do really like the texture. I don't find it too irritating on my skin, and there's no unpleasant odour. Sometimes with retinols you get a little bit of a, I describe it that way, like an eggy, they don't smell great. This one doesn't have that, so that's fantastic, and it's a good, and it sinks in, it doesn't stain your pillow, and I think it's a fantastic product. So I think their retinol is definitely something that I'll be repurchasing and probably will be using, because I want a cheap retinol. You don't need to pay the earth for a retinol. £10 is more than enough for a retinol. I wish I could use the ordinary ones because they're a really great price point and a great strength. They don't work with my skin. I don't think they sink in. So this is a really good alternative and something that I will be recommending to people. And that's fantastic. Mine's actually in my bathroom because I'm currently going to go back and finish off the Drunk Elephant one and then go back onto it, but really good product. Going back onto what I class as the bad. These are the products which I'll explain each one why I don't think they worked. First of all is their BHA serum. Again, comes in their standard bottle, which is this one. Is this the yeah, this is the BHA serum. It's the salicylic acid. Don't like it for a couple of reasons. It's priced at $8.99 here in the UK. That's too much for a salicylic acid. You can get it cheaper. At the end of the day, it's a very basic product. I don't think you need to be paying more than sort of $4.99 for it. So I think for what you're getting, I don't think it's worth the couple of extra pounds for me. I don't like the formulation as much. It's much more watery than the ordinary salicylic acid or the Nip Fab salicylic acid. I like it to be a little bit thicker, so you actually can be a bit more concentrated with the way you want to put it. I tried to dab it on a spot that hadn't just dripped down my face. So in the end, you can't be as targeted with it, and it's quite a strong ingredient as a 2% salicylic acid, and you want to be targeting it. And I didn't feel you could do that because it was so watery. It wasn't what I would like in a consistency, and I think you're paying too much, even though it's not that expensive. I think you're still paying too much comparative to other products, so that's not one that I'm going to bother rebuying. The oil and water cleanser, I'm putting an image of it here. I got rid of it. I used it twice, and it is grim. It doesn't emulsify, so it's impossible to get off your skin. It leaves you greasy. I felt it was going to break me out. Maybe that's because I've had acneic skin. I'm a bit more sensitive to it's a bit more triggering for me, is that sort of oily sensation on the skin. I just really didn't like it. It's got loads of colorant in, it's got glitter mica beads in, awful, and it's quite heavily fragranced. I mean, it's just everything I don't want in a product. I wanted to like it because I do like an oil-based cleanser. It's awful. Gave it to a friend who actually said, oh, I love the color, so she's clearly very much into that look of a product. That's absolutely fine, that's fantastic. Not for me. Gave it to her, I hope she enjoys it, but for $12.99, terrible product, possibly the worst of the whole thing. And I don't really know why they brought it out. It just seems it just seems very against their ethos of no colour, no perfume, basic, stripping it back. It just seems like a random product in their collection. I'm just not a fan. For the same reason, I don't like their glycolic acid toner. Again, it's got colorant in, it's got perfume in. It's 10%, which is stronger than the 7% ordinary one that's out there, and you notice the difference. It does make me redder, it does make me drier, and it does tingle a lot more. And I just think if I'm using a daily exfoliating toner, I don't want it to cause those things. It should be gentle enough that you barely notice it's on the skin. So I'm sticking with the ordinary. I'm getting rid of the 10% glycolic acid toner. It's doing nothing for me. And then finally, one product that really didn't work for me, and I'm not saying it won't work for you, but for me, their zinc oxide moisturiser with SPF 50. The itch and the burn on that product, it was like, it's like my skin was on fire and I couldn't wait to get it off my skin. Awful product. But maybe it's because my skin's quite sensitive generally to minerals and mineral sunscreens, so perhaps it would work well for somebody else, but for me it was just a no-go. It was supposed to be non-comedogenic, it was supposed to be good for acneic skin, but it sat on the skin, it left a white cast, it itched, it irritated. I couldn't wait to get it off. It just didn't work for me. I don't think you need that much zinc oxide in a product. I do think it's quite triggering for a lot of skin types. I don't think you need that much in a product. Factor 50 is too much. I use factor 30. You can absolutely use factor 50, but for me, I prefer a factor 30. I didn't like the consistency of the product. It left a heavy white cast, and I prefer to have a sunscreen that's separate to my moisturiser if I can. I think that way you can moderate more what you're putting, the amount of sunscreen you're putting on. It just didn't seem to work for me. It's not a product. Guys, if you've tried it, let me know. It might just be my take on it. Not a fan. So there you go. They have 15 products. I've only reviewed 8 of them. I don't really want to give you my opinion of products that I haven't tried. So they're the 8 that I've tried. As it happened, 4 great, definitely would recommend, and they are the Retinol, the vitamin C, the hyaluronic acid, and the coenzyme Q10. 4-star products. I will definitely be repurchasing at least 3 of them: the hyaluronic acid, the coenzyme, and the Retinol. The vitamin C, I prefer the ordinary one, but it doesn't mean that this isn't a good product. It just, I prefer the ordinary one. The bad products: the zinc oxide moisturiser just didn't work for me. I don't think the salicylic acid is worth it. Glycolic acid toner, I think, is too strong for a daily exfoliator. For me, maybe you want to up yours from the normal 7% ordinary one, but to me it's too strong. I don't think that's pitched at the right strength, and I really didn't like. I hated their oil cleanser. I wish I'd never tried that. It was awful. One of the worst products I've tried so far this year. Awful. So I guess for me, overall impressions of the brand, I really like the brand. They're very, very similar to the ordinary. If I was the ordinary, I'd either be annoyed that someone's kind of copied and muscling in on their territory. They were the first to do it, really, and it's quite a unique approach of a low price point, high integrity. That was quite a unique approach in the beauty industry, the no frills but high quality element. They must have done that, but actually I think sometimes imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, they say. So actually the fact they're imitating the ordinary in a lot of ways implies the ordinary are doing something right. So the things I like, very, very clear on how to use each of the products. So this is their hyaluronic acid. It's got a clear definition on the front. It's of what it does. It's got very clear for how what it's going to target. So hydrating the skin, reducing fine lines, reducing wrinkles. How to use it is really clear, and when in your skincare routine to use it. So I can't fault that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So big pro for me on this brand is that they really, really help you to understand the product and incorporate it into your routine. Love that. I think then again, yeah, like I say, they're better at the ordinary explaining how and when and who should use these products. So I think that's a big big pro. The low price point is fantastic. I mean, a lot of these products you can try. You know, I spent probably £50 on these products. I didn't like half of them. I loved half of them. £25 to work out that I didn't like 4 products. I don't think that's that bad. So it's a lot of trial and error with these things. And I found some really good products as well. And I will keep buying them at low price points. So I think the price point, fantastic. Can't fault them for that. I really, really like that. And I really enjoy, I think another pro is their different textures that they offer in things. So having the creamier, yet still inexpensive retinol, I think that's something I've not seen out there that much. You know, the Apasuni retinol cream is like 5 times the price. So that I really like. I really like the thinner, more water-based hyaluronic acid, which I think is fantastic because it sinks in better. I just think they've mixed their textures, so they're not offering like for like of The Ordinary. They're offering very similar ingredients but in different textures, and I enjoy and I like that. So I think that's really important, and I think that's quite innovative. So yeah, they're the pros. The cons for me are they don't have a range of strengths. This was the biggest issue I had with this range. You know, if you're using their vitamin C, it's 30% or nothing. 30% is quite high for a vitamin C. I wouldn't use that as a gateway into vitamin C. I think you should be looking at something of around 8 to 10%. But you can't choose that. They have one vitamin C and it is 30%. Now, they're a newer brand. Whether they'll come out with more, I don't know. But The Ordinary has 5 different strengths and formulations of vitamin C. Some would say that's bad because it's more confusing for the consumer because you have to know which one to use. I would think it's good because I think you're giving the consumer choice to decide how strong they want it. As I say, one retinol. So if you don't want that strength of retinol, like it or lump it, that's the one you're getting. So I don't like the fact they don't have a range of strengths, but I'll give them some credit because perhaps they're growing their brand and they're growing their range of products and they might come out with new strengths in the future. But for me, I think that's a drawback of this product. Overall, it is slightly more expensive than The Ordinary. I mean, we're still talking very low price points, so I don't think it's worth like this being a serious con, but they are more expensive than The Ordinary here in the UK. So you might want to shop around and work out which product you want because it's a couple of pounds here and there, so a couple of dollars here there. You might want to shop around. I'm not sure. The price point isn't as cheap as The Ordinary. And finally, some of their claims I find were a little bit dubious. So if you take, for example, this is the hyaluronic acid. So it claims to hydrate skin. Absolutely. It's a fantastic humectant, will hydrate skin. Reduce fine lines. Yes, superficially it will help to reduce fine lines because you're hydrating the skin, you're plumping the skin. So I'll give you that. Reduce wrinkles. No, you see, and this is where I think the difference is. Is a hyaluronic acid going to reduce wrinkle? No, it's not. In the long term, absolutely not. In the short term, fine lines, yes. Wrinkles, no. So I think some of their claims are a little bit exaggerated and a bit out there. So I would probably like them to dial that back a bit because I think we're in an age where you put a claim in a box and you should be held to it. And I don't think a lot of their products can deliver every single claim they make. Now, they're not the only company, and every company exaggerates their claims and stuff. But I think one of the really good things about The Ordinary is it does what it says on the tin, and we've come to expect that from a brand. And I would have liked I'd like a couple of their claims to be stripped out of some of the products. I don't think it's a huge con, to be honest. It's a bit nitpicky, but it's just one of those things that I think if they were really trying to have integrity up there, they would take a few of their claims out of their product. But overall, I'd definitely be buying these products again. The 4 that I love, absolutely. Definitely on board with this product and this company, and I think it's fantastic, and it gives different textures to The Ordinary. The Ordinary do what they do fantastically, but you know what? We all become complacent if we don't have competition, so competition is healthy. So I'm glad that this company has come out with different and innovative products that we can all enjoy as consumers. Let me know what you think. Have you used any of their products? Will you use any of their products? Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Bye.